I picked the Ravens to beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. You're in Baltimore. You got Lamar having an absolutely incredible year. You have an offensive coordinator that really felt like he found his rhythm in the back half of the season. You have weapons that awoken, right, during the course of the year that felt good. You have a defense that was swarming to the football that was supposed to be able to handle all of it. And there's a very simple answer of how do you surpass the Chiefs, and that's you run the ball against them, which they chose not to do in the first half. But the hard part for the Ravens is that I don't think there's one easy thing that needs to change, because I think they were better than Kansas City this year. They don't need to change anything. They just need to damn execute.
Yeah, they were. I mean, this was a shot, it seemed like. But I think a few things are on the table here. One's that they got a lot of defensive starters in free agency, including some really, really good players. So, yeah. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be impossible to keep them all, but keep the ones you can't replace. So that's a first order of business, right? Maintaining most of your defense. Second thing that we don't talk enough about, and it came up with the 49ers again, coordinators matter. They just lost a guy who I really like, Mike Macdonald, their defensive coordinator. Without an elite pass rusher up front, they led the NFL with 60 sacks this year. I think that speaks to how Macdonald schemed up that defense. How do you replace that? We'll see. But I think the biggest thing when I think about their offseason, what they can do if they have any money left over, there are some star running backs on the free agency market. And the one thing Lamar's never really had is a great running mate at running back. J.K. Dobbins a little bit when he was healthy. Nothing against Gus Edwards. Nothing against Justice Hill. But how does that AFC Championship game play out differently if they have a Saquon Barkley? They have a Josh Jacobs. If they have a Tony Pollard even. Derrick Henry is going to be out there. How does the Ravens season play out differently if they're like, yeah, we do have the MVP of the league at quarterback, but we also got Derrick Henry. I think that would have changed the AFC Championship game. They may not won it for him, but it would have made a different Ravens team, let's put it that way.
The Ravens are going to have to be creative financially, too, because if you haven't looked at their salary cap space, they only have about $7 million out there. And look at some of the cap numbers they have. Lamar Jackson's cap number next year is 32.4. That's huge. Ronnie Stanley, 26.1. That's huge. Marlon Humphrey, 23 basically $1 million. Marcus Williams, $18 million. So, I do think the Ravens are going to have to figure it out with largely what they have in-house because they are not in a great cap situation.
The salary cap's not a myth, but smart teams know how to manipulate it. And I think the Ravens are a really, really smart team. I do think a huge key for them is making themselves a running team, a good running team, not just hey, we're handing off to Gus Edwards and keeping you honest, but a legitimate, we could beat you multiple ways on offense. It's not just the Lamar show.